Bruce J.
Check.
My name's Pat. I play keyboard in Ohio Sky.
Vinny, lead vocals and guitar.
I'm Mike, I play bass.
I'm Eric and I play drums.
Where do you want to start with that, buddy? How did we form?
Okay.
Let's start. You want to start with like the 5-year point that we?
5 years is
5-year
good.
plan.
This is the 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Me and Eric started in 2005 or 6. We've gone through many reincarnations of the band since then. Different singers, different players. But for what we think of as ourselves now, it's been about 5 years. And me and Eric were the first two involved. Pat came in next. Mike came from the West Coast in Los Angeles to play with us. The name was thought of in the airport in LAX.
Yeah.
It was we were, Jesus Christ.
Now we're going back even farther.
Going back really far, but we were doing a couple demos out in LA when we first started, and the bass player at the time, it was like literally a phone call.
Yeah,
Like, I think I got it, man. He's like, how about Ohio Sky? And I didn't ask why, where, for. I just said, that's a fucking beautiful name. That's cool. Yeah. It's so hard to think of a band name, and it's so hard not to take it serious or to take it serious. It's like,
Well, at one point we even tossed around changing the name.
Yeah.
oh,
We couldn't come up with anything.
So
Just
out
shows how
of basic
important it really is.
necessity, I think, it kept Ohio Sky.
But it's an amazing thing, though, the shit we had to deal with as we changed as a band. I mean, people that knew us from that beginning phase, just that, there was an impression made, and that's what they thought we were. And here we are, like 3 years later after all that shit happened, and we're this different band, and it just felt like we had to. It felt like we had to change it because we were dealing with so much crap, but we said fuck it, kept our nose to the ground, and kept it.
Before most of us were like even in the project, I think there was Bambic and Vinny and a bunch of other guys when it started, and it was the Ohio Sky. And when I joined, I was like, we have to drop the V and just make it Ohio Sky. But aside from that, I always like the name because it's sort of like it's some sort of psychedelic, open-ended thing. Like what is it? I don't know. It's cool.
It's something. Yeah, I think it's something. As much as I try to think about it, sometimes the most simple thing I could say is that it's something vast, ever expanding, ever changing. Nothing much more than that, though. Here we constantly evolve.
Yeah. Like how we've ended up now from our last EP and the last record before that, we had a 5-piece band together with a bass player, and the events that transpired in last 6 months with our bass player leaving, we were kind of forced to either decide if we want to audition a bass player and try to see if he's going to fit the overall chemistry of what we're trying to do, if he's going to be dedicated, and we took some time to think about it and just decided to go with the format that we have. So I switched from guitar to bass. And
we have 4 extremely talented individuals, and we're pliable.
Exactly.
Like Mike says, that's a good word. We're very pliable. We can stretch and mold into what we think we need to do. We're really good at adapting to a situation. We've always been really good at adapting, and we've had so much time together as a band. It seemed absolutely pointless to drag somebody else into this, to try and learn how we understand each other and how we have evolved. It's impossible to teach somebody, and if we can handle it on our own, we'd just much rather be.
As far as the scene growing, I think it's just like you were saying, the positivity of everybody about it right now. The attitude people have about the arts and getting out there and doing it is better than I've ever seen. A lot more people out, especially when spring and summertime hit. You're probably going to see a lot more of that going on. People taking their music seriously, people taking their art seriously, and putting content out that's good. Putting out good records and working with good, engineers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I always think about the cities that have had amazing music scenes, and it always seems like people flock to those areas, but they're always too late because they had nothing to do with why it got to where they did.
Exactly.
I feel like we are in that moment. We're in the moment of a city, literally, the whole scene is like yearning for something, and we're all in it together and trying to build towards it. So it's really cool to know you're a part of the
Something
birth
was
of
growing,
something. Yeah.
Bye.